welcome to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy is brought to you by the Oshkosh Senior Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of life for adults ages 50 and older. And here we are in the month of November, and of course when November comes around, oftentimes we think of being thankful or having gratitude. Well, it's also a month to honor our veterans, and so I just want to say thank you and express gratitude to everybody who has served in the military or is currently serving, and those of you who have had spouses or children serve in the military. Just thank you for your service and helping to make our country the great place that it is. Happy Veterans Day. All right, so on today's program, we have a great program we're going to learn a little bit about, and my guest today is from ADVOCAP, and her name is Joanne Murphy-Spice. Hi, Joanne, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So we're going to talk about a program that benefits a lot of different groups of people.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yes.
So first of all, before we go into your program and the professional stuff, I always like to talk to people a little bit about the personal side.
Okay.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, well, I have been working for ADVOCAP for the last year and a half. I absolutely love it. I originally am from Neenah. I am a teacher and a social worker by trade, and moved down to Oshkosh to get remarried just a year and a half ago.
Hey.
So lots of changes.
Yeah, now have you and I ever met before?
Never. We were just talking about the fact that, well, we know each other from high school, and
Yes.
when my daughter was little, you were her teacher
I know.
in winter playtime.
Oh man, and those were such fun years, and the stories I have, like little kids would come in and tell stories about their parents. None about you, of course.
Not on here.
No, so, and then you shared with me that your daughter's now 30 years old.
I know.
So, hey.
I know. And it's kind of the whole point of the program a little bit is, I think I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a daughter who's 30. I never really thought that I was aging until she turned 30, because you just feel like yourself.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. And then you look at photos of your parents and you go, oh my gosh, I'm the age now that they are in that photo, and I thought they were so old.
Right,
So,
right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, we're both all about helping people to age healthy and to have a full life as people age. So let's talk a little bit about your program, and it's called Senior Friends.
That's correct.
All right, so tell me just a little bit about it.
Well, it's, in a nutshell, it's a friendly neighbor program.
Okay.
In a nutshell. I likened it to when I was a little kid, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and ladies would get together and like have coffee, and they'd even check on people like, I haven't seen so-and-so at her mailbox lately, you know, is she okay, kind of thing, where you looked out for each other and kind of had that friendship that developed in the neighborhood. Senior Friends is a lot like that. It is a companionship program where we're trying to keep people as independent as long as possible, and keep people, you know, increase people's socialization as they age. And so it's matching a volunteer who's willing to visit somebody on a regular basis, a senior on a regular basis.
Right, because like you said, we want to help people stay in their home as long as possible, but the big concern is isolation. And we're all trying to put different things in place to help fight isolation, because nobody wants to just be sitting home alone all day, every day.
Right.
So, so volunteers go in and they visit with a senior.
Right.
Okay.
And what they decide to do is kind of up to the match. A lot of it depends on the physical abilities of the person that they're visiting.
Okay.
Obviously. But the program encompasses all of Winnebago County. And we grab a volunteer right off the street. No.
Yeah.
We train them. We do
Sure.
lots of things with them. And we try to match people with like interests.
Okay.
And it really varies, because like with women, a lot of times it's going in there and they like to sit down and just visit. Sometimes they'll go through their mail. They talk about their children or whatever. Families who volunteer tend to do a lot of playing games and different things like that. So it's a lot dependent on who it is. Guys, I notice with men, it's more doing something. Like getting the senior out of the house.
Okay.
And
you mean the men that are volunteers tend to be more get the senior out of the house?
Right.
Or?
Like one of my matches, the volunteer goes and picks up the other man at his house. They go over to the Oshkosh Senior Center and they shoot pool. and they do it for an hour because he's got
Wonderful.
the participant has some physical issues.
Sure.
And so his wife is with him all day, but he needs to get out of the house and he
Right.
needs to be with men.
Right, exactly, exactly. So let's just go back a little bit to the volunteer aspect of it. So what are the requirements to be a volunteer? Can anybody be a volunteer?
Well, we ask that you be at least 18 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, most of our volunteers are over the age of 55. But
Okay.
you just have to be over 18 years of age, free of criminal offenses.
Sure, yep.
And be willing to, give of yourself just a little bit. And
What kind of time commitment? I mean, am I having to be there every day, how does that work?
and what we look for an average of like an hour a week.
Oh,
because
wow.
then there's some
Okay.
consistency in that
Sure.
person's life.
Yes.
Sometimes that ends up being a phone call one week and then a 2-hour visit the next week.
Sure.
It depends on what people do, how people work out the match, how far they're driving
Mm-hmm. Sure.
to see the person, things like that. But it averages about 4 hours a month is what we're asking for, which averages an hour a week.
Sure. Now, is there some type of training that I would need to go through as a volunteer? Or
Yes.
how does that
yes.
work? Okay.
Like I said, we really don't just pull people off the street.
No, of course not.
We do a criminal background check.
Mm-hmm.
We do a caregiver background check because you are going into someone's home who is a protected class, so
Mm-hmm. Yes.
we need to make
Yeah.
sure that we do our due diligence
Yes.
with every volunteer that we have.
Right.
So we do that background check.
Mm-hmm.
We do an interview process. And then if it seems like something that's going to be a good fit, then the volunteer goes through a training program, which not only trains them on like policies and procedures that we're expecting them to follow, being
Sure,
part of
yeah.
ADVOCAP and part of the Winnebago County program, but also a background on the different issues that seniors deal with.
Right.
So they know what to expect a little bit.
Right.
We work a lot with Oshkosh Senior Center. We work a lot with ADRC, the Aging and Disability Resource Center, has great resources for us because a lot of times the volunteer that goes in, if you're there every week and the families live out of state,
Right.
you're seeing more than what the family sees.
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering. Part of the training, am I on the lookout for things when I go into the home? Not necessarily, like surveilling while I'm there, but if I happen to notice something that I feel might need attention, I'm sure that the training then tells me how to handle that situation.
Right, and so when we do the training, we'll do a whole, seminar on safety.
Sure.
And if they go in the home and they think, oh my gosh, there's lots of throw rugs and
Right.
cords around, and you've got a walker that you're dealing with, we can go in there and kind of, help them.
Right.
We can let them know that there's resources. Like the public health nurse will go in
Sure.
and for free and,
And do a false risk assessment.
and do a false risk
Yes.
assessment.
Yep.
That there's resources in the community. And so that's one of the trainings we do. We actually use the ADRC resource guide, and we go through it and we look at, now if you notice something like this, where is a resource that you could go?
Right.
So that we're also working at not only being there for that person, but being a connection
Yes.
to some of the resources. And the volunteer always knows that they can call me.
Okay, I was just going to say, so if I was interested in volunteering, what do I do?
Call me.
All right.
And we'll set up a time to meet
Sure.
and get to know each other and what you're looking for. And again, I'll go into more how the program works.
Sure.
If you're,
Just before we move on, though, could you just tell me your phone number? Say it out loud
Sure.
for our radio audience.
it's 920-426-0150. My extension's 3230, but most people just say, could I talk to Joanne?
Right.
Or the person for Senior Friends.
Right, and that is the ADVOCAP phone number.
Yes,
Right. And if
yes.
they wanted to reach you via email, do you have?
It's Joanne, MJOANNEM at ADVOCAP, ADVOCAP.org.
It sounded like a high school too.
I know. Yeah, it's here.
Exactly.
But one of the things I wanted to say is when we have the person come in and they go through the training, I learn a lot too about what they're kind of looking for, because we want the
sure.
volunteer,
Right.
obviously, to benefit
Right.
from this program
Right.
also.
Right.
And what they're looking to give back, and
Right.
what they're looking to kind of enrich their lives
Sure.
also.
Yes.
So when I'm doing the training, there's a lot of interaction, and that's really nice for me, because it's my job to kind of try to match people.
Right. And we'll go back to your role in it all in just a little bit. So now let's talk about the other end of it. So we have the volunteer end, but then you also have the senior end.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about that. So what kind of senior would qualify? Is there a qualification, or how do you become
Basically,
aware
the
of seniors?
qualification is your age.
All right.
Is that we'd like you to be over the 60 or older. It's looking for somebody who's lonely, who's feeling like I spend too much of my day alone. And research has shown we're human beings.
Right.
We're pack animals.
Right.
We need social contact.
Right.
That doesn't go away just because we get older and we start to lose people in our lives, and we start
Right.
to lose a lot of things. Aging is not for the faint of heart.
it is not.
It's you have so many life changes that you have to go through, and you have a lot of loss. A lot of times it's the loss of driving. It's the loss of your home. You move to an apartment, and so you have to downsize your treasures, and just a lot of different things. And your family is usually wonderful, but not always living by you. And they have their lives they have to lead also.
Just so that we understand, though, this isn't nursing care
No,
or
there's not-
personal health care at all.
No.
That's not what this is about.
No, not at all. This is a volunteer program. They're not expected to do any kind of caregiving.
Right.
Although I have heard of people helping somebody clean out their refrigerator and
Okay,
stuff like
sure.
that. Because again, it becomes a
Right.
friendship thing.
Right.
And
right.
what you would do,
Right.
visiting with a friend.
Sure.
The participant just, basically would like to have someone visit them. So I guess you have to be brave enough to let somebody come into your home that you haven't met yet.
Right.
In the beginning, I'm involved.
Right.
And I'm there, and it doesn't probably start with an hour. It starts with 15 minutes where you're just
Sure.
talking.
Sure.
But you still have to be brave enough to let someone new in.
Right. So if I was a senior and I'm watching this and I thought, I would really like that. And so do I call the same ADVOCAP number?
Yes.
And you are still the contact
still
person,
me.
whether I'm a volunteer or whether I'm a
Yes,
senior.
yes.
Excellent. And so how do some of the other seniors come to you? Are they all just self-referred, or?
From everywhere. I get referrals from different programs. I get referrals from family.
Okay.
And I get self-referrals where people
Sure.
call and say, hey, I saw this program, and I would love
Right.
to hear. It's not a dating service. It's not their job to take you to the movies every night or something like that. But that I would benefit from some more
Sure.
personal contact in my life.
Wonderful. And so this would be a great thing. It's nice to know that adult children can call you and say, hey, my mom or dad, they could use a little companionship.
Yes.
So that it doesn't have to be a social services referral.
No.
Or anything. It can just be somebody looking out for their loved one, or even myself advocating for myself and saying, send someone over. I want
Right.
to play cards.
Exactly. I just want somebody to see me once a
Right,
week.
right.
I want to see someone's face,
Right.
especially in winter. When
Right.
you all of us get,
Right.
more confined.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about your role. What is your official title in this?
Well, I'm a volunteer development specialist.
Okay.
And then my job is actually the whole program. My job is to, recruit.
You are
I
Senior
am.
Friends
I'm
of
ADVOCAP
ADVOCAP.
Senior Friends,
That's
yes.
it.
I get the volunteers. I recruit the volunteers and do the training, the orientation, all of that. And then I also recruit for participants. And then I'll go to your house and meet with you. And if you want anybody in your family there, or
Okay,
anyone else
sure.
can be there that
Right.
wants to be there, we talk about the program, the expectation that you're willing to let somebody come and visit you
Right.
for 4 hours a month. And then I do a little bit of an orientation about kind of what ADVOCAP is, the policies and procedures we have in place to protect everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
And, kind of what is expected. And then I interview them. What are your hobbies? What are
Right.
what?
Right.
Everyone's got such fascinating life stories.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your life story, so that I can go back and do the best match possible
Right.
of similar interests
Right.
and things like that.
It actually must be kind of fun to sit there and go, okay, I got Mary over here and Tom over here, and I know that they are just going to click because
Yes.
having met both ends of it, I'm sure you can kind of tell which personalities might
Yes.
blend a little bit better.
Yes.
So what a great position to be in.
It is. It
Yeah,
is.
very
It's
fun.
a little bit like a weird kind of matchmaker.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But like you said, this is not a dating service.
No.
So tell me, you must have wonderful stories of matches that have been successful.
I do.
So can you share just a couple of those,
Well,
please? Because that's always exciting to hear. It's great to have this idea and then to actually see it work and go, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. That's what I was hoping would happen.
Right. Well, and Senior Friends has been around since the early 80s. It was started in Winnebago County as a mental health kind of thing, knowing that people get sad if they're alone too much and things
Right.
like that, and working on increasing that socialization. And then it was done as a referral from social service
Sure.
agencies. And then it's gone through a couple of organizations until ADVOCAP got it. Well, one of our matches, they've been together since I think it's 1998.
Wow.
So really, they laugh because they're 3 months apart in age.
Oh,
I think they're
fun.
83 or 84 right now.
Oh, my
I'm sure
goodness.
they're watching going, yeah, thanks for sharing our age.
Yeah.
So I won't share their names. But they literally are growing up together.
Very neat.
And the woman that the participant who gets visited, she has one child or son, adult son, who lives in North Dakota. So Joan is the person who sees her every
Right,
week,
right.
and they're such good friends.
Sure.
And they watch out for each other.
Very neat.
I have a new match. It's relatively new, and neat things happen. She was visiting a woman who doesn't have any children, had recently lost her husband, and so very alone.
Right.
And this woman, we have a lot of volunteers named Joan. This Joan is a different Joan, but this Joan also was going over there and visiting. And there was an agency that was going there. She lived independently, and there was an agency that was going there and helping her clean and things like that. And my volunteer was a little worried that the participant was maybe getting a little bit forgetful and forgetting to tell
sure.
like the caregiver what she needed to have done and things like that.
Oh.
So we called. She called
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
that's what you can do.
Right.
She said, Joanne, I'm a little bit worried, So I went over there and I said, okay, I can see what you're worried about. I called the agency. The agency got involved, said, yeah, we can change that. We can do what you want.
Sure.
We worked together for several months. We ultimately realized that this woman would be better off in assisted living, which she is now, but the volunteer still visits her.
Wonderful.
And she's
Right.
flourishing.
Right.
That was where we helped with that transition.
Sure. Well, and what I like about it is that you take volunteers ages 18 and older.
Mm-hmm.
So you can end up with that intergenerational aspect of it where you have a young person visiting an older person.
Yes.
And the connections that can come out of that are amazing.
Yes.
And it's learning from each other and learning, what it's like to have lived, grow up in this period of time versus what it's like to be a kid or a teenager now, or a young adult, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Loving to share their stories.
Right.
And I do have a college student who's a volunteer, and she was raised by her grandparents, who have both since passed away.
Sure.
And she misses that age group, and just wants to be part
Right.
of that connection, that generational connection.
Right.
I have a family who visits, a gentleman. They play games and stuff, and the family has 2 sons and a daughter, and they started visiting this man when the daughter was an infant. And he's in a wheelchair, but he would hold her.
Sure.
Well, she's in, I believe, 1st grade now.
Wow.
And he said to me, what a privilege to be able to watch this family grow
Oh,
up.
how cool is that? Yes.
And for the kids, it's grandparents there that
Right.
are in town.
Right. We only have a couple of minutes left. So again, why don't you give your contact information? What is your phone number? So whether you want to volunteer in this program or whether you are a senior or know a senior who could benefit from somebody coming on into the home, tell us that phone number again to call to reach you.
Okay. Whether you want to be a volunteer, which, we would love to have you, or you would like someone to visit you, please call Joanne. And the ADVOCAP number is 426-0150. And you can just ask for Joanne or ask for Senior Friends. They'll know. And if you want to email me, it's Joanne M, Joanne, forgot how to spell my name, M, at advocap.org.
Wonderful. And so just real quickly, balance-wise, are you in need of more volunteers? Are you in need of more seniors? Or does it pretty much balance out? Or
It goes like this. So it's a challenge all the time,
Right.
and depending on where I am believe it or not, in Neenah Menasha, I could use some more participants.
Okay.
People who are living alone who
Sure.
would like. I've got some volunteers up there in Oshkosh. I need more volunteers.
Great.
Volunteers are needed in Amro. So
Yep, great. So anyone who's listening to this or watching
Yes.
this, give Joanne a
Yes.
call and find out a little bit more about the program. What a great program, and it's so simple.
it's so simple.
It is so simple.
It's just being there for each other.
Right. And having fun.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be work. It doesn't have to be anything other than spending time.
Right.
Which is one of the greatest gifts we can give to each other, isn't
Right.
it?
Right. And
Yeah.
realizing no matter what age you are, we are still who we are. We are
Right.
still people. We're just
Yes.
us. We're not an age.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
just us.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the purpose to get up in the morning. You know
Yes.
your volunteer is coming. I got to get out of bed. I got to get up. I got to get dressed. I got to get cleaned up. Oh, let me
Exactly.
pick up some of these things.
Exactly. We might be doing lunch.
It's a purpose. Exactly. What fun. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming on
you.
and sharing
Thank you
about
for
Senior
having
Friends.
me.
And what a great program. And I hope that, people hear this and respond and either sign up to be a volunteer or help to meet the needs of seniors aging in their home.
I do too. That would be terrific.
Yeah.
And we also have monthly meetings for the volunteers that would like to come.
Wonderful. So a nice connection then for the volunteers.
It's wonderful. We
Yes.
have a riot. We have so
Right.
much fun. I have no sense of humor, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And real quickly, if you're a senior and you get somebody and you don't feel like you're a good match,
You let me know, and
Okay.
we work something out.
okay, I don't have to tell the person,
No, you
right?
don't have to
Okay. Great. So there's a way, just to make sure that there is compatibility and you
Right.
monitor that and you're the
Right.
contact person for
Right.
both
Yep.
ends of the spectrum.
Yep,
Wonderful.
and people call me all the time.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right. Well, we have lots of exciting things coming up at the Oshkosh Senior Center, and I'd like to share just a few of them with you. So here are the upcoming events at the Oshkosh Senior Center. First of all, as the holidays get closer, sometimes we get stressed, and nothing beats the stress like a good old chair massage. And we have chair massages on Tuesdays at the Oshkosh Senior Center. Carrie Coffrin comes in and does those massages, and the cost is $1 per minute. And she's typically there from 9:30 till noon, and she alternates buildings. So one week she's in the north building, one week she's in the south building. If you would like to book an appointment for a chair massage, please call Carrie directly, and that number is 920-410-3950. Go get your chair massage, relax for the week, for the weekends, and for the big things coming up during the holidays. All right, so November is also a great month to eat a lot of wonderful food, and the holidays is a great month to eat a lot of wonderful food. However, we also don't want our pants and things feeling too tight. So we are having an incentive program at the Senior Center called Walk to the Super Bowl or Workout to the Super Bowl. And what you do is you just kind of sign up to be a part of the program and then keep track of the time that you work out. So we want to help those who, if you're walking, how long did you walk? Not mileage-wise, but length of time. Because we also, when you're raking your yard, that counts as exercise. Or when you're cleaning your home or working on a big project, all of that counts. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert the miles to minutes and have us all walk to that Super Bowl by the end of February or by the middle of February. So you just come down to the center, sign up for the program, keep track of your exercise minutes. We have a big board posted in the fitness center to record that on so we can see who's all in the program and how close we are to our goal. So come and join us and stay motivated through the holidays. A Healthier You. If you have not had a chance to check out this program at the Senior Center, I highly encourage it. Dina Meyer, she's a registered dietitian and diabetes educator through Aurora, comes and does presentations. She will be there on Monday, November 23rd at 1:00 p.m. It's free. She has all kinds of information and shares health tips that will benefit your daily life, but she also has focuses if you have particular health questions or issues in terms of diet or nutrition that you would like to ask her. And she always has fabulous recipes that she gives out at the end to everybody. I've heard people rave about those recipes that she hands out. So come on and check out Dina on Monday, November 23rd. Those of you who are at the center during the holidays know that it is decked out pretty cool. It's a very cool place to come and visit and just get into the holiday spirit. But in order to have that happen, we need volunteers to come in and help us. So we are having a decorating day on Friday, November 20th, starting at 10 a.m. in the South Building. We're going to put the trees up, put lights on, decorate as we do. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun doing it. And then it's even more fun to stand back and watch people be ooh and ah over the decorations. But we do need that help, and that is on Friday, November 20th, 10:00 a.m. OCM cards. If you are not familiar with these are cards that offer discounts to area businesses. This year there are 25 businesses on the card, and the cards sell for $10. Now, you can go to those restaurants or those businesses as many times as you want in 2016, and you can still get that discount. It's not like a one-time use and then they punch it and you're done. So you can have 10% off at Hardee's for every single time you go there. And for $10, it pays for itself within no time at all. So those are available at the Oshkosh Senior Center, and they are available at the front desks in both the North and the South Building. And the Senior Center does get a little bit of return on every card we sell. So if you are going to be purchasing a card, please consider purchasing it at the Senior Center. And these make, by the way, great holiday gifts for people if you don't know what to give somebody. So it helps out OCM and it helps out the Senior Center. And there's great places to eat and places to go. Make sure to mark on your calendar the OSC Golden Tones Holiday Concert. It will be on Sunday, December 6th, 2:00 p.m. in the North Building. We do pass the basket. We ask for a free will offering, but give as you can, and if you can't, we understand, but please share. But talk about a great way to get in the mood for the holidays, and the Golden Tones are a fabulous choral performance, so come on down, check it out. We always have some goodies after the concert, so that's wonderful to take part of too. And lastly, one of our great programs at the Senior Center is called Senior Connects, which has been made possible through a grant through the Women's Fund, and it is where teens come in and teach seniors technology. I'm very pleased to say we are going to be able to offer some more sessions in 2016. Watch the newsletter for information on that. But what it is, it's one-on-one tutoring on electronic devices. You may have seen us. We were just featured on, or not featured, but we had a spot on WBAY recently. It's a great program. It benefits, much like Senior Friends, it benefits both the seniors and the teens. So those are just some of the things we have coming up at the Oshkosh Senior Center. I hope to see you down there. Come on down and be a part of things we have going on there. New things are coming out all the time. Think about that fitness incentive program. I know I'm going to do it. And thank you so much for watching Senior Savvy. Have a great day.